Hello, welcome back here into Caden's Weather Center. In today's video, we're going to be continuing to pay attention to the flash flooding threat that is continuing on for the state of Florida right now, as we have a lot of tropical moisture that is coming down with a lingering cold front there with a low pressure system that is right off the west coast here of Florida. No tropical activity or tropical system is active and is currently happening, but bringing lots of rainfall here into the Florida Peninsula, so we're going to talk about that, as well as talking about a marginal risk that is continuing on for the western part of the United States, and as well as paying attention to Hurricane Kiko, but now actually a tropical storm here, and will be continuing to move north to the Hawaiian Islands and possibly bringing some big beach impacts. So let's jump right into it. Today is September 9th, 2025. Continuing to pay attention right now here to the United States. What is the United States looking at? What are we looking at with the current weather right now? Well, we can clearly see we have some lines of thunderstorms continuing to move off to the east here through Minnesota, Iowa, and even parts of Missouri now. It's going to be reaching into there. That does include Kansas City, Omaha. You got some rain earlier this morning and all of that, but not too big of a concern right now. We do have a flash flood warning continuing on over here, the northern part of Wisconsin. That rainfall is going to continue to move off to the east. Won't be too much of a big issue for you guys there. Rainfall is going to really start to kind of ramp up here, and chances and totals will go up here for the west coast of Florida here, and really south central Florida as well. We do have a low pressure that is also kind of sitting off over here. You kind of can see the spin off the coast here of California and Oregon. You kind of can see that spin right there. That's bringing some heavy downpours here into parts of northern California here for some time there. But taking really a look down here at Florida, what are we looking at right now? Because this is going to be our main concern. We do have the flash flooding potential still continuing on. Well, we can see there is a little bit of that spin. There's a low pressure that is off the coast here, nothing tropical or anything like that. This is the cold front that we have been kind of paying attention to. It's a lingering cold front that you kind of can see, and that's going to bring a lot of that moisture into the south central part here of Florida. And really, we do have that flash flooding potential threat kind of for this majority part here of Florida, kind of more just slightly more down to the south here of I-4. So that's something to continue to pay attention to very closely. But first, let's talk about the severe weather threat today. What are we expecting? Well, you can clearly see for the marginal risk, we see, parts of Colorado and New Mexico. You guys are slightly in it here, but really our main area is going to be Texas, parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle, as well as going into Kansas and even parts of Nebraska as well, as we're going to see once again some lines of thunderstorms kind of form and then kind of make their way off here to the east, and we'll push more into Kansas and more into Oklahoma, as well as maybe even more northern Texas. But taking a look here at the severe weather side, what are we looking at with the biggest threat? Well, the wind and the hail threat are going to be one of the bigger concerns with that, but really our biggest concern won't be any tornadoes or anything like that. Taking a look right now here, what are we looking at with the future radar here? Well, we can clearly see in the next hour of the recording of this video, we can definitely see that there is going to be some pretty big rainfall that kind of heads in. It looks like to the Tampa Bay area there. We're going to be seeing some heavy rainfall at that time. We're going to be seeing those lines of showers and thunderstorms continuing on over here in the northern United States to kind of start to, weaken a little bit, dissipate, not be as strong, and just won't bring as much rain. But then you kind of can see we have that cold front that's continuing to sit down there. That is bringing some of those cooler temperatures down here into the kind of the south, and you definitely can see cooler temperatures are definitely on the west coast here of the United States. That is definitely expected to happen for the next coming of days. We do have a high pressure that is going to seem to be building in right over here as well. But then you kind of take a look at just the moisture that is continuing to happen here in Florida. And if we take a little bit of a closer look, we can clearly see here with Florida, well, we can clearly see there's that low pressure system. Once again, nothing tropical, nothing marked by the National Hurricane Center, but that rainfall is going to really stay really off to the coast relatively right now throughout, this afternoon and everything like that. We're going to see it kind of just scatter out throughout all of most of the Florida Peninsula here, as this low pressure will kind of just hang out here. But majority of that rainfall and thunderstorms are going to continue to push east into Florida. So that's going to bring, some scattered showers and thunderstorms here with potential, times where there's heavy rainfall at times. We'll start to clear out a little bit as we head into tomorrow, but a little bit still once again as we head into tomorrow evening. We're still seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing on here for the Florida Peninsula. Even into tomorrow evening, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. Taking a look here at the rainfall totals, what are we looking at with the accumulation over here for the next couple days? For the next 24 hours, we can see rainfall totals still continuing to move up with that low pressure system in the northwestern Pacific. And then we take a look right now here at the Florida Peninsula. We can see majority of that heaviest amount of rain does kind of stay offshore. But then you head into around 36, 48 hours out. That's when we start to see a little bit more of that rainfall kind of heading more into the state of Florida. And if we kind of take a look here, 42 hours out, we're really starting to see some pretty big numbers here on the East Coast here, possibly reaching up into 1 to the 2.5 inches of rainfall there, heading into 72, 78 hours out. So 3 days from now, we're going to be seeing a lot more of that rainfall here on the east coast of Florida, and really still on the south central part here of Florida. We're going to continue to kind of pay attention to that very closely. Let's take a look right now here at the tropics. Tropical storm Kiko, you can see very clear center right there, continuing to move off well north of the Hawaiian Islands. We do see some beach impacts that will probably bring some pretty big surf there due to Tropical Storm Kiko there. Good news is this isn't going to be any major wind threat or anything for the Hawaiian Islands, but definitely some beach conditions are probably not going to be the best here for the coast, so make sure you're staying tuned with that. Taking a look at the forecast cone, we could clearly see 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm moving west-northwest. The storm obviously, was a major hurricane earlier in its life, but now is starting to head into those much cooler waters, but expected to continue once again just to go far north here of the Hawaiian Islands, eventually just to turn out to sea. Not any land impact is expected, and you can see that here with the spaghetti models, expecting to just make that eventually make that right-hand turn there, that northeastern jog. Taking a look right here at the Atlantic side, what are we currently looking at? Well, we're heading into the peak of the hurricane season tomorrow. We have nothing active here in the Atlantic as of right now, and we could clearly see, we do have that low pressure that's sitting off Florida, but nothing has been marked for tropical activity due to that cold front. It's just not wanting to spin up or anything like that. So, relatively, we have a very quiet Atlantic hurricane season right now, so that's some fairly good news there. We do have a pretty big tropical wave that is now emerging off of Africa, and that is going to be heading off to the west there. We're going to be seeing that. National Hurricane Center, once again, does not have anything marked for that, and we can see that here. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected here during the next 7 days for this, for the Atlantic here. And tomorrow's our peak of the hurricane season. So usually we see something, but not expecting anything right now. So you definitely can see here with the GFS model, bringing some of that rainfall here into Florida, bringing that low pressure kind of, with that cold front kind of bringing in that tropical moisture there. We're going to kind of see, the tropics really start to just they're just going to be dead here. We have a tropical wave that continues to move off to the west-northwest there, right there, and that continues to move off. Now, the GFS does pick up on the possibility here of something spinning up right here and possibly getting pulled off to the north and then the northeast here and brings it into the Florida Bend. That could be a tropical system, and the GFS has definitely been pretty consistent on something kind of spinning up over here over Central America and getting pulled north to go somewhere. So definitely keep an eye on that, but obviously right now it's too far out to be even sure. European model hasn't been so set on that one, that is for sure. The European model has kind of been more set on tropical waves coming off into the MDR and then getting pulled out to sea, but as a very relatively weak storm here, and we could see that right there. We'll get pulled off to sea, so the European model, not too much to be concerned about there. But taking a look here at the Euro ensembles for the next 15 days, well, we can see some ensembles do bring a tropical wave here off of Africa, but does get eventually pulled out to sea. The intensity kind of, the European hasn't been too, insane on the intensity. This season hasn't been the absolute best, but we can definitely see that there is the possibility here for a possible hurricane here, according to some ensembles. But once again, we're too far out to be exactly sure. But taking a look here at the satellite picture around the United States, well, we can clearly see there's that cold front that's continuing on right there, bringing those cooler temperatures down here into the northeast and as well as the south there. Unfortunately, not going to bring too many cool temperatures down here to the Florida Peninsula. You guys are just going to be dealing with some heavy rainfall at times there. But then, we have some of those rain showers and thunderstorms continuing on the central part of the United States. But other than that, everything else is pretty relatively quiet. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you do have any questions, make sure to leave it down in the comments down below. If you have any questions about weather anywhere, I will be doing my best to answer your guys' questions to the best I possibly can. But I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow my X page down in the description for frequent updates here on severe weather, tropics, any conditions here, especially as we're starting to head into the winter season. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys stay safe and have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys next video. Bye-bye.